Well, dude, this time last year, maybe it was more like July, we had a hot tub party, pool party to celebrate building our very first spirit store of the season. And you were absolutely shredded and your abs were the talk of the party. What was and what is, before your surgery, your thumb screw up, what's your routine, your fitness routine? What's that look like?
Bro, you're making me feel so bad about myself right now. And I very much appreciate that compliment, because truly that was what I'll consider my all-time life peak conditioning I've ever been in. I have never been a person that's been great at nutrition, never had a gym regimen, just never had those types of systems and processes in place. And a couple of years ago, I was at an all-time low physically, and just hated the way that I felt about myself and my lack of routine, and just drinking too much, eating the wrong stuff, which is 90% of it. And then also just no consistency in working out at the gym. And so I decided at that point, like, I need to make some quantum changes in what I'm doing with my life, because first of all, now I have kids, and like, it changes your whole like purpose for living. And now, like, I want to be able to throw a ball with my kids. I want to be able to go and have lake days, and whatever it is that I want to do, I want to be able to do that. I don't want my limiting factor to be my body. So when I saw you last year, I was working with a personal trainer who was amazing.
That was the dude that I worked with at Define Fitness, right? What was his name again?
The most small world thing. So actually, the one that you worked with was my second trainer. My first trainer, his name was Dwayne Yardman. I believe that was his last name.
Dude, if your trainer's name is Dwayne, you're good to go.
Dwayne the Train, man. That guy was awesome. He was a guy that you could tell didn't have like the natural body type physique to be like this legendary fitness athlete. Mm-hmm. He was a scrawny, he showed me pictures of him like from years previous. He's just like this scrawny little guy that just learned the process to build his body and got passionate about it and turned himself into a machine. And that was really inspiring to me, because I'm like, this isn't a guy that's like 6'4" and jacked, right. That doesn't have a body type like me. This is a guy that, I think came from, probably not having many of the natural physical attributes to be a specimen like he was. I was like, well, that's me, man. I don't have the deepest gene pool. I need a guy that knows what it's like to start from kind of scratch. So at that point, I didn't know how to work out, didn't know any exercises, didn't know much about really how to turn my life around. But I went to this outfit, which actually I found on Instagram just while I was mindlessly perusing. One of my friends who's an influencer, she was doing some workouts at this place. It's called Dash 121 at the time. So I kind of just hit her up and I said, Erin, you look great. Because she was always a beautiful woman, but like she was posting stuff that she was toned. I mean, she looked strong. She looked
stage ready.
Not stage ready, but just healthy, like
Gotcha.
Strong, feminine, like lean, muscular build. And I had gone to school with her probably 5 years prior to that. And like I said, she's always beautiful, but she wasn't ever like this muscular, chiseled person. And so she really inspired me to look into this Dash 121 place, because I hit her up on Instagram and I said, hey, I noticed that you're working out at this facility. First, the facility looks amazing, but like also you look amazing and you look healthy, and tell me a little bit about it. And she said, well, the benefit of this place is, yes, it's expensive, but it's personalized one-on-one training, and it comes with a nutrition coach. And both of those things I acknowledge were like massive gaps that I had. I didn't have any knowledge to, even if I wanted to go to get a defined fitness membership, I wouldn't know what exercises to even do. And so anyway, I knew I needed to just invest in myself. Like, I don't care how much it costs, I'm going to just do it because I need to do this for myself. So after probably a year of basically paying a car payment to this place, I really learned how to work out. And I learned a lot about myself from a nutrition perspective, which was probably which I learned actually was the bigger thing. They incorporated a lot of like really a holistic approach to it, where they took blood work and looked at everything from like, what is your testosterone levels?
Dang.
What are your vitamin deficiencies? And then they asked me like really crazy personal questions about my lifestyle, eating habits, all those things. And then they created this framework of nutrition that really, from that, I learned that I had a thyroid disease called Hashimoto's.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and basically it's a gluten intolerance, and that causes like constant bloating, constant inflammation. You never feel good, and so what she did like right away was get me on this path of, okay, like let's take an approach of figuring out what foods you react well to and what foods you don't, and then let's find alternatives. I don't want to steer you away from things you really love, because it shouldn't be like, your nutrition shouldn't be something you hate to do. It should be like, let's build a lifestyle around the things you already love, but let's create like kind of easy substitutions for that. And it was life-changing for me. I look at myself now though, I think when you're talking about was actually 2 years ago.
Was it really?
I think so, because honestly, like, after Dwayne, I had another, actually, no. When I saw you, I was working with him. Why can't I remember his name? He was great.
Yeah, I can never remember his name either. I love the guy.
He was a personal trainer that you had met along your journey when you were...
When I was a personal trainer.
When you were a personal trainer.
Yeah, we were coworkers. Yeah.
And he was great too. So anyway, Dwayne ended up leaving and going to start his own thing at another gym. But I really loved the Dash community because of the nutrition and everything. And I loved the owner of that gym. So I stayed on, got with a new trainer who was your buddy. And I'm embarrassed to say that I can't remember his name because I worked with him for such a long time. But he was a totally different type of trainer. So Dwayne was more like, okay, let's walk before we run, but let's concentrate on low weight and great like mechanical movements. Like, let's make sure we do low weight but flawless, and let's do high repetition of that, and let's incorporate tons of cardio. Next guy he was like the bulk master, right? Like he was the David Hasselhoff in old school Baywatch.
I remember his body like a V. Like he just has these massively broad shoulders.
Yes. And I'm hoping that his name comes to me before this podcast ends, because like if he ever listens to this, I'm gonna be so embarrassed. But he got me into, I'll call like the actual weightlifting and bulking part of it. Like I had never really lifted heavy, and I'd never done like Olympic lifting. And so he got me into that. And that's where I really started seeing like, okay, I'm not only shredding fat, but now I'm really building muscle. And I started seeing quick results in that. And it was addicting, because I had never seen my body react that way. And this isn't like doing anything crazy special. I was working out with this guy 3 times a week, and then I bought a Peloton and I was riding that Peloton pretty consistently. And my body just morphed. And I loved the results. And so that kind of led me down that journey. And now I'm sitting comfortably with my Dad-Bod. That gym ended up closing down. I lost my personal personal coach, my accountability buddy, and my buddies, and I've fallen back to a lot of my old routines. So you're going to inspire me though to get back to my glory days.
Dude, I'm trying. I end every single workout with glute thrusts, just to be your inspiration. Yeah. And I thought, the whole reason I asked this question was because I was pretty sure you were going to say I inspired you. But I guess those hip thrusts were for nothing, but good for Aaron. That's awesome.
I did say that at the beginning of when I started talking. I said, you're making me feel bad about myself because I could have been getting my butt looking tight like yours, or my glutes. I said glutes. I didn't want to say butt, but yeah, you got a great great little booty Jesse.
Well, dude, so Dwayne actually is like started you out with the basics, and that, I mean, seriously, I didn't sneak any pictures at that pool party, but what a testament to how quickly a person can change their body around. Because I mean, you went from, you're saying literally not knowing anything about the gym, to a transformation like that over the course of what, like a year and a half, a year?
Yeah, and honestly, that you're 100% right about that. But I have used that transformation now as an analogy for so many parts of my life. Like consistent effort in any direction for a prolonged period of time creates results.
Yeah, 1% at a time.
No matter what. And it really broadened my perspective about what was possible. And I started saying yes to things that I wouldn't normally say yes to because I felt physically unable. I'm like, no, like it's time to push myself and your body will figure it out. And, you know, I've been really blessed that I surround myself with some really healthy and active people that like to do cool stuff. And, many of the people I work with at Abrazo Homes specifically, like we have a group that's called Challenge Accepted. And it's a monthly challenge, and anybody can throw out a challenge. And if you say no to 2 challenges, you're out.
Dang.
So it's just say yes to no matter whatever it is, right? And so like last month we did a half mile of lunges. And it was brutal.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And so the next day I was so sore. I can't even tell you how sore I was, but I was so proud of myself for still doing it. You know, it's like Challenge Accepted is just about saying yes to things that you don't want to do, but you're going to do it anyway. And I'm by far like the Dad-Bod of all Dad-Bods here at Browns. I mean, like one of these guys is, you know, he played professional football. Another guy was a collegiate track athlete. Brian played basketball in college. Like all these guys are D1 athletes or better, and then there's me, and so they're always like pushing me well beyond my comfort zone. But I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I can hang. The mind is stronger than my mind is stronger than my body, and your mind can push you through so many more things than you think it can.
For sure, that's awesome, man.